Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto, or welcome to the channel if you're new, and welcome to this new middle of the day market update. We're going to do a full update. We'll talk about the fundamentals around the markets right now, which I think are most important, to be completely honest, if you want to get a grip of what's going on right now. But we'll also talk about Bitcoin. We'll do a brief update on XRP, and then I briefly wanted to talk about some altcoins that I think are still holding up relatively well. All right, so that doesn't mean you should buy them, but those are the coins that I look at, and I actually do see that they can recover. But ultimately, like I said, I mean, right now, to get right into the video, the market is not doing great. As you can see, it's still very correlated, and at this point of time, the Bitcoin dominance is actually going up, whereas earlier this morning, Bitcoin dominance was actually retracing a bit, and altcoins had a bit of room to recover and do some mean reversion. But right now, I mean, the main fundamentals we have to look at, and the main fundamentals we have to talk about, is this whole potential trade war. All right, and that has caused the stock markets right now to fall, as you can see, and they're basically still at around the same levels as where they opened. At least futures, because the S&P 500, the normal one, obviously still has to open. I would actually say that the stock markets are not looking too bad. I mean, the price has not fallen as much as most crypto coins. Bitcoin is holding on fine, but obviously due to the Bitcoin dominance, I mean, altcoins have gone through an absolute carnage. And honestly, I think that the further development of Bitcoin and altcoins depends a lot on those fundamentals, like the crypto specific fundamentals. So then we're looking at the USDT dominance at resistance, the total 3 here at very strong support. They look fine, but ultimately we want to see we want to have some sort of certainty about this whole potential trade war. We know that Trump, and I'm not going to all of a sudden say that I'm an economist, but I did do my research, of course, and I do know a little bit about economies. And the big question is as well, if this whole potential trade war, etc., if it was more of a scare tactic to actually get Canada and Mexico to do certain things that are beneficial for the US, or that are longer lasting. And then based on that, we will see a reaction for the stock markets. And then based on the reaction of the stock markets, we can actually get some sort of an idea of what to expect from Bitcoin. Because right now, it's just, very honestly, it's very unclear and very, very dependent on that development of this potential trade war. And also, to be completely fair, also if we will see new tariffs, for example, on the EU, which is certainly a possibility. And I very much doubt, if we take a look at the stock markets, that has been priced in. So that could cause a bearish pressure in the macro financial markets. And that's going to have bearish effects for crypto as well. Now, talking about Bitcoin here, I would lean towards saying that the bottom for Bitcoin has been found. All right, so Bitcoin spiked down towards 91,000. Like, Bitcoin is actually holding on relatively well. I mean, we got a nice liquidation spike over, they say over $10 billion in crypto has been liquidated in the last 24 hours. That's very, very high. But apart from that, it's also just a strong technical support level. So far, if we see the reaction and we see the technicals, I would say that level is going to hold. But again, there I will rely back on what I said earlier by telling you, it will still depend on the development. Like, if we see some sort of an ease, so if, for example, Trump makes a deal with Canada and Mexico, then I think the markets can easily bounce back up. Then this is the bottom, and we can continue to consolidate in this area between 102,000 and 92,000. All right. Whereas if Trump doesn't back down on the tariffs, and if Trump imposes new tariffs on EU goods, then there's a possibility that Bitcoin is actually going to drop down lower into levels like 89,000 or potentially also 82,000. So that's going to be interesting to see. I will keep you updated on that, of course. But let's briefly take a look at XRP. Not much has changed from this morning, I would say, on XRP. It's now the question, right? So we're looking at 2.55, the previous value area high, if we're going to be able to reclaim that, yes or no. And again, and I hate to say it because it's obvious and it's the truth. That's why I'm telling you. But again, that depends on the markets. And honestly, I would say if you look at XRP right now, it's a little more likely, or at least it's, given the current situation, it's more likely that we will actually hold this bearish breakdown we had, and that will drop down a bit lower towards 2.1 and $2. potentially as range lows. So talking about altcoins in general, like I said, at this point of time, they are not doing amazing. You can see right here that altcoins are correlated. That's not a great thing. You can actually see on the 4-hour time frame for the Bitcoin dominance that the Bitcoin dominance the last 5-6 hours has been strong again. There's some altcoins that I do think still look relatively fine here, like something like Link is at strong support and is still holding that on the daily time frame. Same thing with Solana, same thing with Litecoin, even though it's actually trading below that right now. So daily time frame candle closes will matter. Hype also still holding on fine. Tron still holding support here. Sui holding support, but is a little bit less bullish. And Ondo is also still holding support. So those coins, like if you were to buy altcoins, I would focus on those. And today, outside of that, like there's a lot of volume going around in the markets. But most of the other coins, there's interesting other coins as well, of course, but most of the other coins I would avoid. Those are my thoughts. That's what I think you need to know. The US market opens in 30 minutes, probably a little bit less when you're watching this video. Then we're going to see a lot of movement. So like I said, keep your eyes on the stock markets, keep your eyes on the Bitcoin dominance for altcoins, and keep your eyes on the dollar strength index, which we want to drop down lower. But those are my thoughts. That's what I think you need to know for now. If you do have any questions, of course, let me know down in the comments. Have a great day. Have a safe day for most especially. And I hope to see you on my next videos. Take care and bye.